would you like to describe Francis Gay Sparrowhawk?
Of course. He may be late 40s, early 50s, but thinning, straggly sort of hair with a straggly sort of beard to accompany it as well. Wears, well, what might once have been fineries, like a cloak with nice fine purple lining, but has obviously seen far, far better days, maybe even 5 decades ago. It's now trodden in, worn in. And that's like much of what Francis Gay Sparrowhawk wears. Sometimes wears a monocle. Only sometimes does it actually have a lens in it. Yeah, or in terms of his actual facial features, maybe a slightly hawkish nose, pale skinned, and normally with a head in his book or tinkering with something or talking to something around him.
Okay, thin man, that's what I am. Very thin, not very tall.
Are you a man?
Huh?
Are you a man?
I am a man.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm known as the thin man. I am inconspicuous, kind of a sad face, V-shaped, sort of V-shaped. He has like a, sometimes he's totally shaven, sometimes he has like a bit of a stub, wrinkles, white hair, but very thin. But they made a ballad about me.
Ah.
I am obsessed with an old case that I want to solve about the homicide of a girl, and my enemy is someone that wants to access a different dimension, and I want to access the same dimension, but he wants it for power, and I want it for retrieving the soul of this girl. And I think I've joined these people because I think they have abilities that I may be able to use to access this dimension.
Sure. So Francis, Hamet thinks that he joined your group voluntarily. Of course, he doesn't understand the plan and the plotting that involved.
Well, the plan was written in the stars.
Yeah, he's fated, isn't he?
And all of us.
Indeed. And what does your hideout look like? It's got some special aspects to it, hasn't it?
In Night Market, which is the market town closest to the train station, I believe. So it gets many goods coming in via those transit. If I can say it's in an abandoned library, long abandoned library, so there's nothing actually of use, unfortunately, in terms of learning. But it still has some veneer of that.
Well, I believe you got plus to your, is it learning resolve?
So yeah, resolve and also personal. So it's we don't so much have a literal altar at which to worship. It's more the sense of communion that you have. Something of like a stoic philosophy in the group. You know, that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger. So yes,
Okay.
in terms of training, if you ever train in resolve or in the personal track, you'll get 2 ticks, course. So
hold on.
To do with the book still remaining in here, surely?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, why not? But they're quite random, the books that are left. And my personal hope, my reason for joining this the cult, like I say, so this god is, these beings are things I come across when consorting with the ghost field, which I often do, and maybe even Satara, the demon I sometimes have contact with. And it's my hope that these beings are powerful enough or have enough knowledge that we can actually help restore something of the world. Whether that's actually to restore the sun, well, I doubt that very much. But maybe these beings, I mean, they hint at foreign lands, dream worlds, worlds more physical, other planets. Maybe we can gain access to these other worlds and travel there. Hopefully they won't require us to kill ourselves while we travel there. Because I've seen those sorts of cults as well. The library is not hidden. So, I mean, we're not very well known. That's how we hide at the moment. You know, no one's interested in us. We're just some crazy cult. Yeah, so we do have some adepts. So as people like do come and go, and they come and go quite openly. So if someone were interested in our services, they could literally just walk in at this point.
Well, indeed, someone does. And as you turn the corner of a stack of books and rags and old newspapers in your decrepit library, you see a lady standing at the desk, quite well dressed. You think of middling income and secure job. She's looking at some books like over one shoulder, and also you see her wipe her finger across the desk, and it comes up dusty, and she's like looking around. She hasn't noticed you yet. It's quite dingy and grotty in here.
So no, I was thinking maybe the library got gutted by fire at some point as well. So it's, you know.
Yeah, then when she goes,
missing.
That's quite sooty.
Yes. That's not just dust. Oh, I apologize, say no. That's not just dust. That is the soot from when the Church of the Flesh tried to burn this repository of knowledge down. But indeed, we are trying to rebuild it. I trust that is why you're here, for the sake of knowledge.
She says, I remember that night. The water glowed with red. It was a horrible sight. Is it Mr. Sparrowhawk?
Ah, you know me. Yes, of course. We may speak freely here. I'll just wave her into a less charred desk.
As you close the half door, you can see that her shoulders are shaking and she's sobbing into her handkerchief. She says, Mr. Sparrowhawk, I do apologise. My name is Mrs. Elizabeth Hawthorne.
I think I've heard of your family.
You may have. We have the shop, Hawthorne's Mollyfold Maps and Charts.
Ah, yes, that's where I know it from. Delightful maps I've seen there. Can't quite afford them myself yet.
You may not have heard, but a terrible thing happened to my husband a few nights ago.
Allow me to present my case. 2 nights ago, after taking supper, at the hour of the flame, my husband returned to the shop to finish cataloguing some incunabulum. He was surprised by thieves ransacking the shelves. These thieves were members of the Fox Lane 5, whom we pay a monthly gratuity to. We had already paid this month, but my husband acquiesced to their demands to prevent further disruption to the shop. The gang left to spend the money on drink, while my husband attempted to rectify the damage. The Fox Lane 5 returned drunk, and they said he needed to be taught a lesson. They broke his arms.
Barbarians.
Her shoulders begin to shake as she stifles some tears, but after a deep breath she continues. We were informed that you, gentlemen, were champions of free enterprise and capable of justly ejecting these blackguards that have become the scourge of Fox Lane. Under your watchful eye, order could be restored, and businesses return to prosperity, left to their own occupations. She informs you a charitable collection was started by the residents to pay for Mr. Hawthorne's doctor's bill, and the remaining monies dedicated to ensure this barbarity would stop. She implores you that the Fox Lane 5 gang must never suspect the street has organised against them.
She is able to tell you that recently that gang was caught and their boss was killed during a mission, during one of their raids. And since then, that marked the beginning of the chaotic behaviour of this gang, basically, of just demanding extra money and getting drunk all the time. And she says, although Mr. Jarvis was not a likeable man, he did seem to keep the Fox Lane 5 in order. She says,
That's interesting.
What was the name of the old leader?
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Yeah, he was a butler originally. All right. And there, I get where they are located?
She says they like to drink in a local pub called the Powder Monkey. She says, "Will you help, sir?"
Of course, our means are not violent means. We look for more creative methods to solve these sorts of problems.
That is exactly what Mr. Hawthorne said of you. Will this be sufficient? She says, and pushes these. You see a pile of coins, some other valuable things mixed in with it. You know, rings, stack of silvers.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Right, there is 3 coins worth of treasure there.
I take him on the back out of and I
So,
said
of
to
course,
him,
I understand that you must discuss this matter before accepting.
must discuss this matter.
Hammett, what's on your mind?
I don't think it's a good idea to take her money, and maybe we can accept some sort of advancement payment, part of that, but not all of it. And maybe later on, if we are successful, we can have some different, I don't know, how do you say, agreement with the local shops or something to supply us.
I think if we are trying to get the populace on our side, yes, I can see where you're coming from.
So say, you tell her, because you are in charge, and she came to you, and I would say, I mean, these are 3 coins. It's a lot of money for them. I would say, let's have 1 coin. Fine.
Mrs. Hawthorne.
I must remind you, you're very well, Hammett, and very generous, but you are going to be expected to pay 1 coin to the gang above you, which are whoever the gang above you are, at the end of the mention. So don't forget, you have got outgoings yourself. Miss Hawthorne says, "Do excuse me, gentlemen. I really must be leaving soon."
Of course. We may contact you later if we need more information. If that's okay.
Accepted then.
Yes, indeed. Please, we can't accept this money, all of this money now. Let us just take a third of it, so 1 coin, and pay us upon successful completion of our agreement.
He says, "That is very generous of you, sir, and very honest indeed." She says, "Unfortunately, I really do not feel safe returning to my house carrying such a wealth."
Maybe we can have one of the other guys to accompany her back home.
He said, "Would you? That would be most gracious."
Yes. How are we going to get rid of this gang?
Well, we're gonna scare them to death.
Scare them. You have a plan in mind?
Francis, I have an idea. Listen, I think maybe what we may want to aim to is to get control of that gang and to have them join our ranks. Now, or to have them join our ranks, we may want to cause 1 or 3 of these outcomes. Let them flee the district. Let them join our ranks. Let them ruling you, because basically they are without a chief at the moment. That's what I got it, and I know where they are out is when they used to drink and get drunk. So they're poor people.
Well, you say Jarvis is their old leader.
Yeah.
What say we get in contact with him? He might know a fair few things about the gang.
No, even better. Let's use him to
Yeah.
convince them to join us.
Yes, I concur. Is this too much for pre-planning, or is this? Because I could use my occult training to compel Jarvis to manifest to his old crew and command them to join our ranks or to scatter.
Yeah, you could. If his body hasn't been taken and rendered down already.
Will that essentially be what the role is, or is that a fortune roll made by you?
I think that's essentially what the role will be.
Cool.
When you summon him, whether he comes. Basically.
Sorry. When he's speaking with him, can I speak with the ghost as well?
No.
You might not want to be there. Most people, if you're not used to this sort of thing, it can get quite hairy. You're welcome to come and join me, but
It usually doesn't even make sense. When you're speaking, it's like speaking in tongues. Perhaps being a detective, you could find something of Mr. Jarvis's personal items.
Yeah.
that would
Okay.
most certainly help.
Okay, maybe.
Context with a spiritual connection to the deceased.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask my friend, the inspector, where his body is, if they get this body, if they know he was dead, and if I can get anything of his belongings.
So the body was washed up at the night market by the rail bridge just an hour ago. It was found and fished out, and the spirit wardens have been informed. He understands that you've got an interest in this case. You say, I'm very interested in this case. He says there was nothing on his body, just his wet clothes, and they've been thrown away. As you've worked in this office, you know where they throw.
Yeah.
And rush around the back of the offices to the dumpster there and start dumpster diving.
So he was found in the river. Okay. So no, it's not feasible. Yes, I'm gonna make a roll for looking for things, which is gonna be a survey.
Controlled standard effect.
Okay. 6 and 1.
A basket full of day-old donuts, a soaking wet, stinking three-piece suit. You can see one of the legs has been torn off.
Okay, these were the belongings of the guy. I'm gonna get them all, and I'm gonna pack them. Thank my friend. By the way, his name is hello with the H, and I'm gonna bow down, go back to my headquarters. I want to speak with Francis.
Did you find an artifact there? No, some clothes. If he's
Yeah,
worn
I found some clothes.
Sufficient, yes.
Did you say a pack full of donuts?
Donuts. Well, you are a detective. I would have thought a donut would be the perfect conduiting tool, but clothes will suffice. If he was wearing these all the time, he would have to wear them a lot for there to be echo left on them. But we shall see. Prepare yourself. Steel yourself. I'll make sure we're locked away so the other adepts don't see it. Not because it's forbidden or anything, just because I don't want them to freak out as well. And yeah, I'm going to ask Thin Man to hold hands around the table, put the clothes in the middle, and start to speak in tongues as I try to attune to this. So what am I getting +1 for these clothes? What did that give us? Or was that like +1 effect?
Yeah, it's going to give you a plus to the effect. I think it's pretty desperate, but that's good for you because it means you're going to be getting experience from this role.
Yeah.
Can I use an old rhyme, one of my nurses used to sing with me when I was a kid. That he said that was protecting me from spirits. So I'm going to perform this song.
How does that help Francis, though?
It always helped me.
But how does it help Francis in this situation? I mean, it helps freaking out, so that's a good bit of role playing. But can you tell us how it's going to help Francis?
Maybe I know from my studies that eventually there is a structure to that rhyme, and this structure is a magical spell, and as such is a spell that makes you in contact with the spirits somehow and tells them to do something.
Just in terms of color, can we have it that Thin Man starts saying the rhyme out like in normal English, but at some point as he slips into a trance, he starts saying it backwards. Obviously it's unintelligible to anyone listening, but to someone who's also in the trance like me, I can understand, he's saying that rhyme backwards now. It's going to undo what it was supposed to do. So it's going to attract rather than ward.
Francis, so standard desperate.
Can I also push myself to get the effect up to great effect?
Yeah.
So you resist it using your resolve. So you've got one hit in resolve, right? So you're going to roll a dice and take that much.
3.
So you're going to take 3 stress, 4 stress. You're giving Francis a hand.
Yeah.
Am I rolling?
Please do.
So I'll get an extra dice. No.
The rhyme is the tiger. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, while immortal and the eye could frame a fearful symmetry. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal and the eye could frame a fearful symmetry.
You got a 6. The temperature of the room drops as Hammett speaks now. Smoke starts to billow from his mouth. From this smoke solidifies a plump man, barely 5 foot, tall in all his smoke, and he's wearing a 3-piece suit that lays at your feet in a wet bundle. He swims into view, billows into view in front of you. Much like that, indeed, Hammett.
I ask him, do you understand that you are dead?
I don't understand. I don't understand. God damn it, Ned. What have you done? What have you done, Ned? Ned! And starts backing away. His feet don't, personally don't exist. And they don't seem to get him. He's going like that. Get off me, Ned. What are you doing? Then you see his head snap to the right. And he hangs there in space.
I think Ned killed him.
You need to pass that past your detective, just in case.
Maybe I'll double check.
Ned is dead, Ned is dead, Ned is dead, Ned is dead. Undead, 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 undead.
I don't understand. What you doing, Ed? Watch it. Oi. And you see it play out again.
Tell him, I try to get through to him. Jarvis, the moment of your revenge is at hand. Help me bring Ned under control. I'm compelling him to go to his old crew. Give him a good scaring. Your crew have become delinquent. They've already forgotten you. Go back to them and remind them that your presence lingers. Remind them that your hand extends from beyond the realm of shadows. Remind them that your fury resides in physical form and that their only hope of salvation is to be at one with
Hey. So I take it now that we've gone through past the information gathering part.
So past it, aren't we?
somewhat. And you're using the occult as your aspect. So you've given the plan's detail. You're sending this Jarvis's ghost out to haunt the crew. The target is vulnerable to this. I'm giving you an extra dice.
Yeah, it's quite a unique way actually as well, isn't it?
You've had friends that have assisted in the operation. Your police officer friend.
Oh yeah.
Are there any enemies that could be interrupting or interfering with this operation?
Maybe my enemy, the psycho stronzoli, what do they call it?
Or
The parapsychologist.
Okay, I'll take a dice off of that then. That would be good if he turns up.
Also, we get +1 for this being in night market, and forgot. I didn't forget. I read that today. I was like, oh yeah, extra stuff. We also get an extra downtime action.
Yeah, that's worth remembering. What are you going to do now?
Now, being in tune with Jarvis's spirit, we can follow his beacon towards where the crew are. Maybe, I don't know if that manifests as we literally follow this spirit, or if we just have a sense of where he's going.
You get the idea that it's going to be the power monkey somehow. It's the only other location you've been informed about during the game.
And this detectives around is very handy. And I guess we follow him to the powder monkey. And we have to be, I guess the plan is to be there to pick up the pieces once he's terrified them. We'll be there to like step in and say, the savior is here with the Latharalysis.
You're using the occult, follow the ethereal tracings, you get the feeling that wherever they are, it's likely to be the powder monkey. It's not so much a feeling as Hamet's detection. It's close to the Fox Lane, so it's likely they'll be in that area. And then approach the barman, ask after Fox Lane 5 had been in. He gives you a wary look, but he goes, indeed, they left not 5 minutes ago. Merry they were, I would say.
As well they might. But Jarvis might have something to say about that.
He does the sign of the eternal flesh. You leave them to come down the street when you hear a blood-curdling scream towards the canals.
That'll be them.
You say, we have them. You run to the canal. There are 3 men here. One of them's a big sailor, tats. You can see him going, no, like that, standing very close to the canal. The other 2 are going, what was wrong? What's wrong? He's going, no.
I think we know which one Ned is then. Ideas, Hamet? You're more used to dealing with these ruffians. I can see Jarvis, can I, terrorizing Ned?
You can't see him.
Can I?
You can't see him. Do you wanna make a roll?
Yeah. Roll straight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, wait, don't roll it yet. Risky with standard effect.
Well, the standard effect is that I want to convey is to make them scared so that we can unleash the show, basically.
What show?
Do you want me to assist me?
Huh?
You want me to assist?
I'm gonna do it.
Well, no, wait. What are you doing? What is? The first thing that you should say to me is, I want this to happen, and it's not a description of what's going to happen. It's a description of, I want them to be terrified.
Okay. This is some.
To join our gang. I want them. You've got to make that objective, and then around it we can build what it is.
What I want to do, if Francis is okay, is I want to be a sort of narrator, of host of this show, and the show is that we're going to display the power of the undead, and which is our friend Slimer. What's his face? Jarvis. Okay.
Slimer.
And I want these geezers to be in awe, possibly, and afraid. And then, Francis, you need to make Jarvis seen to them.
We want them to join our gang.
To join us. So the objective is that I want to tell them to join us. And
how are you doing that?
by displaying the fact that we have the ghost of that is going to take revenge unless they join us.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. So I think that's going to be a clock then, because that's more than just a simple running off or something.
Yeah, that sounds.
So convincing them to join. Four tabs on it, and you're using your speechcraft, are you?
Yeah, nice way. But I was thinking, making them afraid, then displaying the ghost, which is Francis doing, and then wrapping up. And the wrap up is going to be, hey, hold on, we can help. Join us. That's the thing. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
Francis, are you happy with that?
That makes sense. You're probably not going to be able to use sway for the third part again because you've kind of already used it.
Yeah.
You'll have to come up with a different. You could order them to join you. Do you know what I mean? You can use other aspects to get them to join you, but unless the situation changes in some large degree, it's like in most games you can't just use sway and then you sway again and then you sway again just because it's your best stat and that's what you want to use continually. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean. Yeah, of course. That does totally make sense.
Okay. Would you like to roll your sway then?
Or
let's not do yours. Can we just do it? Because the idea
okay.
20 years, because you can always do a flashback and you can always
6, 4, and 1.
Oh, very eloquent, I must say.
2 ticks. Convince them to join you. As you approach the side of the canal, you can see there's a leg floating in the water. It's got tattoos. It's quite a stumpy little leg, and Ned seems to be very upset by it. He's like, no, like that. Well, the other two have noticed it now, just staring down into the darkness, the inky blackness that is the waters of this land. And you start saying, death is upon you, revenge from the beyond the shroud. And
got a big voice.
A great effect. They'll start like listening to you in terror and horror as you recount the terrible things that will happen to the spirits that are angry and wander the earth unsated for revenge. Then Francis kind of steps up like a ghoul and does his magic show. What's he doing? What are you doing, Francis?
I'm trying to display the power of our cult. So I'm going to try to do that by wheeling back the spirit and saying that to display, we can control these spirits, and only by joining us can you also have this protection. So I'm going to try to use a tune again to that effect, I guess. I mean, I can't give him another command, can I? It'll be a separate command. I've told him once, go get revenge, and now I'm saying, nah, your time's up, mate.
So it's like a banishing, yeah?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I think...
Let him exact revenge if he wants.
Yeah, I'll let him get a bit of revenge, actually. Let him roughen Ned up a little bit, actually.
Yeah. That makes the show more convincing.
It seems to have affected Ned quite badly, seeing this floating leg in the sea. As you cast around your vision, though, you don't see any ghosts here.
Can I roll a tune to see what's going on?
Yeah.
So I can actually plug into the ghost into the echo field and actually, what is Ned actually seeing, as opposed to just second guessing all the time.
Yeah, you can do that.
Effect and risk and stuff.
It's risky standard.
5 is the highest.
You step forth and go to cast a banishing upon the spirit that must be close by to be inhabiting this leg, just as
Is that possession? That's what I'm wondering in the back of my mind. Does that count as possession? It was his own body. But anyway.
you weave your arms in front of you, speaking the words of banishing. You feel Ned has grabbed you around the neck.
Ned has. Oh my god.
He starts going, so you've suffered some damage there. Level 1.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Uncomfortable neck. They've choked. You get level 1 choked.
Uncomfortable.
I'm going to take it on my armor. So I'm going to take 2 load for armor and say I was wearing a particularly stiff, just a very, very stiff collar. I don't know, maybe it had a bit of metal in it or something.
Yeah, is your Doombringer suit.
My Doombringer, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
He starts trying to choke you, but luckily the steel holds priests. What?
Priest collar.
Priest collar.
Dog collar.
Yes, you're a cultist.
The dog collar.
But you see with your vision that the spirit is gone. You've got a feeling this spirit has been dissolved away now.
It's gone.
The echo that's here is the echo within Ned. He's crushed. You can see the tears are streaming down his face. Since committing this crime of killing his boss, he's been in a dire straits spiritually.
Okay. Can I try to set the thin man up for the next roll? And can I say I managed to shrug Ned off, and I go to the other 2 and say to them, "This is the spirit has been banished. There is one final conduit.
Weeping.
The final conduit is in Ned himself. Now witness as the thin man here uses the power of our gods to return Ned to the world of the living. Reach out to this man and bring him back to our world. Use your charm, use your charisma, use whatever means you need to."
Okay, but the problem is that I was told not to use it for the 3rd roll in a row, and
All right, you think that's fair?
I was actually checking my other abilities, and I have perfect detective abilities, but without my charisma, I'm nothing. And
what's the ability?
Pardon?
What's the ability that's fitting?
No, I go study, survey, skirmish, and sway, and that's it. So I don't have any more resolve sort of ones. I didn't even put one on a tune.
Study would work. I could make a case for study because there's a psychological need that we need to reach Ned. And so this is like an application. I don't know if study is the exact one, but like an application of clinical psychology, essentially. Someone who's in acute distress. Would that be study, or I guess that'd be more command, or I don't know.
I think it is more command, but I think you can make an argument for study.
I will try to take 2 stresses and
That's 2 dice.
yeah. So
2 dice is pretty good.
Take your stress, don't forget.
Something.
Yeah. Take your stress, don't forget.
I will.
I've marked my stress already.
So this is a risky standard.
Okay. I mean, mark me stresses. Oh my God, I'm super stressed already.
Yeah.
I really need to drink. I really, really need to drink. Oh, I hope I don't get more stress. And hope that goes. It's not gonna go because I have already rolled a lot of 6s.
It's not how statistics work.
Oh, 6-5.
Done it then.
Still no crit successes in this whole set and this whole
There's
episode.
never is. No one's ever done a crit success.
Yeah.
So
I'm rolling on my face mask.
you put your hand on Ned and do like a preacher, like command him to join and to worship your dark god.
What the fuck? He's very light, in fact.
Theralysis.
The hardest thing about our cult is the name. Once you get past the name, it's
That's what you look like to him. As you're like commanding him to put his old life behind him and join anew. And he seems convinced. You've won a convert to your cause. I guess you're gonna tell them not to be smashing things up, or to smash more things up so you get more money. What are you gonna do?
No, they need to mend their ways.
No, they need to mend their ways.
Jarvis
So-
has spoken to you. You need to do things how Jarvis did them. In fact, no.
Jarvis was
He was an extortioner as well, wasn't
he
he?
was an extortionist. That's like thanks for nothing.
Say, Ned, you've been touched now and you have seen the true way. Now you know we shouldn't extort the living, but we should extend our minds to other
Yes,
domains.
sacrifice their lives.
Come back to our humble abode, our library, and
We got
study
drugs.
the ways. So we'll take them out of commission in that they'll start hanging around our library and doing
Okay.
docile things like reading books, if they can even read. If they can't read, we'll teach them to read.
Sure. Maybe with your extra downtime activity, perhaps you could acquire an asset. Huh?
Or could we open a clock
Yeah.
for Ned to train him up as an expert, like not an expert, like a thug type character. So you can have a thug in the group.
You can acquire an asset, which means that you've got the Fox Lane 5 to do one job for you. It could be like, go and beat someone up or something like that.
Yeah.
You could, like you say, do a long-term project to try and bring them into the fold. But
I think so. I think
acolytes.
brainwash them. Let's brainwash them. Yeah. They're gonna be big publicity. Can you imagine? The gang of baddies suddenly turn it out to, I don't know, be peacefully following this very mysterious cult of ours.
Thugs are listed under cults crew upgrades, so I guess we can have thugs.
Don't like bending.
The other way you could do it then is have it as opening a clock to having him as a friend, like as a proper named friend, as opposed at the moment he's just Ned.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can have him as a contact when
Yeah.
the long-term project.
Okay, we do that then. And then maybe when we get XP, we can put one on thugs just to reflect his gang.